Alrighty, y'all. How you doing? We're looking at a massive DTM crash. I've had this series recommended to me a little bit here and there over the last few months, and it's about time I check this out. We will definitely look at this more in depth. We're actually starting with something kind of unorthodox here. We're actually looking at a crash, massive DTM crash, as I said. Engine ripped out. How could this happen? That's the title of this video. This is from a channel called B Sport. It'll be linked in the description down below so you can watch the whole video uninterrupted and browse their channel. Let's go. I can't wait to see this. I want to hear your comments on this, and I can't wait to dive into more motorsports because you know I love it. And these DTM cars, from seeing a couple pictures, these look freaking awesome. Here we go, guys.
The Porsche engine lying on the track. How did this happen?
Jeez, that's bad.
Another freak accident happened today, and it's worth to dig a bit deeper to see how this was possible.
Oh my God.
At today's DTM...
Okay, a lot going on. Car and fireballs over here. We got a car to the left over there in like total disarray. Damn. Is this series only in Germany or is it all around Europe? Either way, it looks like a lot of German cars. It looks really cool. Here we go.
Race in Hockenheim, a number of crashes happened.
That's a tough track. I remember that from video games.
Engine was definitely the most extreme of crashes.
Let me not interrupt this guy. I have played that track in video games a long time ago, and I remember it being pretty hard. A lot of high speed into tight corners at one point,
race
right?
in Hockenheim, a number of crashes happened, but Dennis Olsen losing his engine was definitely the most extreme crash we've seen today.
My God, I'd call that extreme.
It all started when a crash happened further forward in the field, and while Olsen slowed down, Audi driver Ricardo Feller didn't see what happened in front of him and rear-ended Olsen. Olsen spun to the left onto the grass, and while everybody slowed down for the slow left turn, he was just a passenger and slid across the grass. He then hit the barrier at a very unfortunate angle. Why unfortunate?
Wow.
Well, let's have a closer look at the structural design of the Porsche 911.
That's a big
The 911 is a special
spoiler.
design and the only car in the world to still use the old Beetle concept from the 1930s.
Isn't that kind of mind-blowing? Look at this transition from the old 30s Volkswagen, right? Am I saying that right? Probably not. I'm trying, guys. Volkswagen Beetle, and then look at
That means
the 911. They do resemble each other. Obviously, the 911 looks a little more modern, a little more exotic, but you can tell they're derived from the same sort of original DNA. Kind of interesting, right? Yeah, let's hear more.
the engine is sitting behind the rear axle, the gearbox is in front. Because all the weight is at the back, the fuel tank sits on the front axle.
Yeah.
Porsche is using a two-beam design and mounts the drivetrain in between. They then have a crossbar at the back that is welded in place. When you have a longitudinal engine, you usually use three drivetrain mountings. The Porsche 9...
Can I interrupt this video real quick? If you guys would like to share your opinion on this, isn't mid-engine, so like if you see my cursor, isn't the engine up in here technically better for weight distribution? I know Porsche 911s are pretty famous for being so agile. They handle really well, right? But it seems on paper kind of weird that the engine's way back here. I feel like that weight distribution would be a little weird. Like it has all this weight back here and then like nothing in the middle or up front. I know they obviously have it down to a science, but if someone wants to explain that, if they know, thought about till right now, like they're not mid-engine. A lot of cars go for mid-engine, like even if it's in the front, way up here in the middle, towards the middle, or of course, you know, rear mid where it's up here. It is kind of different, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
has a center mounting at the gearbox. At the engine it's a bit trickier because it's a flat boxer engine.
Yeah.
So Porsche uses a large mounting plate that is mounted to the center of the block. This plate then rests on the engine mountings that sit on the junction between beams and crossbar.
Okay.
In addition to that, Porsche then mounts the rear crash bar to the rear. So if we look at the structure and think about today's impact angle, you can see that basically everything at the back is designed for the standard rear crash, but with the crash direction today, everything is soft, except the engine.
Yeah, so I think he's saying that a straight on square rear collision, it's going to be strong and structural. But perhaps this car hit at a weird angle on the side here, or maybe at an angle even a little bit, and all of a sudden it's not as strong from, you know, like this tight little window of angles. It's not going to hold up as well.
And by the way, why was there such an unfortunate impact angle? because the barrier is not parallel to the track, and that was also
Yeah.
the reason for Grosjean's extreme fire accident in F1.
Yeah, which I've seen.
So,
Yikes.
if a 911 hits the barrier at this angle, the whole energy of the impact is on the engine, and the engine is
Ah,
mounted with the plate at the back, so the structure that gets destroyed first.
okay.
So then the 200 kilogram engine has no mounting points at the back anymore, and the drivetrain only gets held by the center gearbox mounting and the drive shafts. But
Wow.
these only hold the light gearbox, and the
Yeah.
heavy engine is only connected to the gearbox with 4 relatively small screws.
Oh my God.
What now happened was that unfortunately Olsen hit the barrier at the very end,
Right.
causing the front to spin further, and this created a violent rotation
Yeah.
with so much rotational force
That it
that
just.
the 200 kilogram 4-liter 6-cylinder engine got ripped out of the back in flames
And thrown out,
because the
right?
fuel lines ruptured, was flying across the track,
Oh my
and smashed
God.
against Nick Cassidy's Ferrari door. The Ferrari
Wow.
experienced a massive hit from the side with flames, and we can be happy that the
Okay, is that okay? Now I see. You see the car spinning ahead. The flames is mostly the engine, right? Just like a grenade flying across the track.
safety standards of the survival cells for these GT3 cars are so high.
Yeah, now no doubt these cars are safe, right? This is one of those where I feel like it looks spectacular. It looks kind of crazy, almost like a movie. Like, whoa, we have all the flames and cars ripping in half. Not literally in half, but you know what I mean? Like ripping apart parts, debris flying everywhere. But at the end of the day, modern race cars in most of these different disciplines I've learned, even in NASCAR, IndyCar, what I'm more familiar with, they are very safe, right? It's thank goodness they've come a long way. And he mentioned the Grosjean crash at Bahrain. I did see that recently in Formula One, and for example, that one looked absolutely terrible, looked totally fatal, and he walked out of there, right? Yeah, a little bit of a miracle, but it was amazing, right? These cars are really strong and safe and designed to do what they're supposed to do. If stuff splits apart, it's probably designed to do that. And you'd rather have debris flying around than people flying around. So, yeah, very interesting how safe race cars are, and I'm intrigued. This is a very we're peeking through the window here. I don't know anything about this series, but I would appreciate some suggestions if you would like to see more of this. I definitely want to. And so this is just added to another motorsport that I want to discover, and I can't wait to see more. I'm going to look for some awesome videos on the DTM series, but we only got a little glimpse here, and that was a wicked crash indeed. Make sure to throw a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. I do appreciate it. It would help it out. And, of course, subscribe to join this amazing community. We have here tons of awesome videos for you to browse if you're new here. Check that original video that we just watched. Check out the whole thing uninterrupted with the link down there. Browse our channel, stuff like that. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Stay safe out there, okay, y'all? And I'll catch you later.